working for you in high definition. This is Channel 4 News Today.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Channel 4 News Today. I'm McCloy in for Jonathan Martin this morning. It is Saturday, May 25th, a beautiful Saturday morning, I should say. Good news for all of the people maybe in Nashville for the Memorial Day weekend.
And throughout Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. We're just looking at a fabulous weekend, and I think we deserve it.
At the top of the 9 o'clock hour, a driver is facing charges after a violent crash on I-65 overnight. Around 11:30, a car ran into a bridge pillar at the Rosa Parks Boulevard exit. A woman was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, and the man driving suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police believe he was driving under the influence. He's been charged with vehicular assault. Police across the state will be looking for drunk drivers as tens of thousands hit the road for Memorial Day. Overnight, Metro officers set up a sobriety checkpoint on Hobson Pike near Percy Priest Lake. Vanderbilt Medical Center says last year's Memorial Day weekend was its busiest ever. The trauma unit saw 3 times as many patients as it normally does, and doctors say many of those accidents were preventable. Tennessee wildlife officers are also keeping a close eye on boaters this weekend. Officers will be checking to make sure people are taking the proper safety precautions. There have already been 9 boating-related deaths this year. That's nearly twice as many as during the same period last year. You won't have to worry about road construction this weekend. The Department of Transportation has suspended all construction-related lane closures on interstates and state highways. You might start running into some lane closures, though, when you see the long-term projects. If you do, just slow down a bit, obey the reduced speed limit. Nearly 700,000 Tennesseans are traveling for Memorial Day, and the vast majority will be driving. Now that school is out, lots of you will be heading to the pool to cool off and soak up some sun. Today, Wave Country is opening for the summer season. The gates open at 10 this morning, and admission is $12 for everyone aged 13 and up. Kids between the ages of 3 and 12 get in for $10. Children ages 2 and under get in free. There's usually a big rush to get in on the first day, so if you plan to go, you might want to show up a little bit early. 9:03, the Metro Parks Department is also opening the city's spray areas today. Love those. The spray grounds are located downtown near LP Field, on 9th Street in East Nashville, and Joe Johnston Avenue in North Nashville. The water at all of the parks will be flowing by 10 a.m. You and your family can enjoy the spray grounds for free all summer long. This morning, hundreds of volunteers in Murfreesboro will be setting up flags near the avenue. This is file video of the Healing Field. Every year, volunteers set up the flags in honor of Memorial Day. This year, more than 800 will be on display. The flags will stay up until Monday night. Hundreds of Fort Campbell soldiers are making their way home from Afghanistan just in time for Memorial Day. Last night, about 300 troops arrived at the post. These are photos from the 3rd Brigade Combat Team's Facebook page. Several hundred soldiers have arrived this week, and the flights will continue for several more days. Food safety concerns are expected to draw hundreds of people to downtown Nashville today for a protest. Nashville is just one of hundreds of cities around the world where people are set up to march against the Monsanto Corporation. Organizers want the government to label genetically modified foods or ban them altogether. They claim that the foods are harmful to people. However, the FDA says that genetically engineered foods meet federal safety standards. A drug linked to a deadly outbreak is the subject of a new investigation. The case involves the Main Street Family Pharmacy in New Bern, Tennessee. Officials say 7 patients have gotten sick after receiving injections produced by the pharmacy. So far, none of the illness has been life-threatening. The pharmacy has recalled all of its sterile products.
We don't have confirmation at this point that these products are actually contaminated. We are certainly concerned that they are.
Officials say the drugs were sent to 13 states. The FDA is urging doctors to stop using them. One of the mid-state's most vocal gun enthusiasts has lost his appeal. Leonard Embody sued the state 3 years ago after officials took away his handgun carry permit. He argued that Tennessee's restrictions on firearms are in violation of the Second Amendment. But the state appeals court disagreed and ruled against him. For the second time this spring, mosquitoes found in the Nashville area have tested positive for West Nile virus. The latest batch was found near the Harpeth River in Bellevue. Earlier this month, mosquitoes in Bordeaux tested positive for West Nile. So far, no human cases have been reported. Today, volunteers and health officials from the health department are heading to Madison and Goodlettsville to help slow the spread of West Nile. They're going to be knocking on people's doors. They'll be asking to check backyards for potential mosquito breeding grounds. The health department picked the area because it has a history of problems with mosquitoes and West Nile. The state has issued the first air quality alert of the year for Middle Tennessee. Officials say that ozone levels could be unhealthy for young children, older adults, and people who have asthma. They're actually urging you to limit your outdoor activity right now. And I want to check in with Nancy because we've got a lot of people planning to be outdoors today, some outdoor events going on. And do we have good weather news?
Absolutely perfect weather is what we're expecting today.
Thank you, Nancy. 9:08 is your time now. A family is calling for tougher laws against drunk driving after a surprising plea deal. Yesterday, Trevor Bradshaw was sentenced to a year in jail and 9 years probation. 2 years ago, police say he was driving under the influence when he struck and killed 2 pedestrians on Demumbrian. The DA told the victims' families that Bradshaw was eligible for the plea deal as a first-time offender.
The first offense killed Michael and Tommy. Why do they need another chance to kill someone else?
Erin Brown, the woman who was in the car with Bradshaw, was also sentenced Friday. She received a year of probation, 7 days in jail. Prosecutors say she asked Bradshaw to drive because she was too drunk. Governor Haslam says the state is still trying to reach a 10-care expansion deal with the federal government. Earlier this year, he announced that he would not expand the program as a part of the president's health care overhaul. He says Washington put too many restrictions on the expansion and that state officials are trying to reach a compromise. They hope to have a deal worked out by the end of the summer. School just let out for kids in metro schools, but many of them are about to get back to work. The school district offering all kinds of summer programs to keep your child interested in academics over the summer. Everything from band camp to virtual school classes are available. Teachers have even drawn up some summer reading lists, and you can find a link to all of those on our website, WSMV.com. Music Row is reaching out to Moore, Oklahoma, how the Stars are helping tornado victims. But first, new legal troubles for America's toughest sheriff, why a federal court says his office crossed the line. Welcome back. Good morning, everybody. A live picture over downtown Nashville this morning. Highs expected in the 70s. Nancy Van Camp will have the full forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Amanda Bynes is in trouble again. She appeared in court yesterday after she was arrested this week. Authorities say they got called to her apartment in New York and saw a marijuana bong with heavy smoke sitting on the kitchen counter. Police say she threw the bong out the window in front of them. She was charged with reckless endangerment, attempted tampering with evidence, and unlawful possession of marijuana. She was released from jail, but she'll be back in court on July 9th. And notice that hair she showed up with. 2 people are dead and another is missing after a plane crash. The Angel flight plane was on its way to Rome, New York from Massachusetts. It crashed in a large pond around 5 yesterday afternoon, about an hour away from Albany. The pilot is still missing, and police say the investigation will continue this morning when divers can go into the water. Angel Flight is a nonprofit organization that helps transport sick patients for free with volunteer pilots.
RS-27 main engine. We have liftoff.
The Air Force has launched a rocket into space carrying a new satellite. It's supposed to be dedicated to high-capacity broadband communications for the U.S. military. It has as much bandwidth in one package as the entire fleet of previous generation defense satellites. It will reportedly improve the ability of American pilots and soldiers to hunt terrorists using unmanned drones. A federal judge has ruled against the self-proclaimed toughest sheriff in America.
There's no faith that Joe Arpaio will do the right thing and stop racial profiling from occurring and change the culture of MCSO.
The judge's ruling is the first finding by a court that Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio's office racially profiles people. The judge says Arpaio's deputies dragged out the detentions of people who were pulled over, and victims say deputies only pulled over some cars to check immigration statuses. Arpaio has denied the allegations. We are to 9:15. This is new surveillance video into the newsroom of the bridge collapse on I-5 in Washington. It shows a semi-truck carrying an oversized load that officials think hit one of the girders, causing it to collapse. And this isn't the first time. Washington State performed a special inspection 6 months ago because it had been hit by a different car. The report said there was impact damage and sums up parts of the bridge that had high load hits. Tornado victims in Oklahoma have plenty of friends here on Music Row. Several big music stars have donated items for an auction on eBay. The auction was organized by the folks at the Bobby Bones radio show. Tim McGraw, Toby Keith, and Carrie Underwood are just a few of those participating. Kelly Pickler even signed her dancing shoes from Dancing with the Stars and donated them to the effort. Blake Shelton is also lending his voice to the cause. He's leading a telethon that will air right here on Channel 4 next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Healing in the Heartland is being held at the Chesapeake Energy Arena in Oklahoma City. Miranda Lambert, Reba, and Vince Gill are also going to perform. Nike plans to donate $1 million worth of its products to help out. The shoe company says it's also working with Oklahoma City Thunder's Kevin Durant to donate profits from the sale of his shoes. The money will come from sales on Nike.com between May 23rd and June 15th. The funds will go to a charity that rebuilds playgrounds and the Moore Public School Foundation. And you can help too. Remember, you can still donate at any local Kroger. The company is partnering with Channel 4 to raise money for the American Red Cross, and every little bit really helps. Kroger is going to match the first $50,000 that's raised. Well, if you are looking for something fun to do this holiday weekend, there is a lot to do.
Yes, we have some ideas for you. The Nashville Shakespeare Festival is hosting a weekend play on the lawn at Opryland.
Business leaders in New Jersey marched fully clothed into the Atlantic Ocean, Chile, to proclaim their beaches are open for the summer season, but 57-degree water did not slow them down. They were not alone. Communities all along the Jersey Shore held ceremonies yesterday to show the world that despite Hurricane Sandy's destruction, they're proudly open for business. Actor Leonardo DiCaprio is taking on a new adventure. He's going to space. Really? That's right. He plans to take a ride on the Virgin Galactic's flight to the edge of space, and a lucky fan gets to ride along with him. A regular ticket costs $250,000, but the fan is picking up the $1.5 million bill for the trip. The ticket was sold this week at an auction in France during the Cannes Film Festival, and the proceeds benefit an AIDS charity. The Vivid Festival has transformed Sydney Harbour in Australia. Spectacular light show that you're seeing there. You can see the buildings getting colored projections thrown on them, and the water fountain lights are a new attraction this year. Show expected to draw 500,000 visitors. Looks neat. Forget a movie trilogy. The 6th film of the Fast and the Furious franchise has hit theaters, and just ahead we'll give you a sneak peek at the new thrill ride. One character is back from the dead in Fast and Furious 6. Stacey Cohen has a look at that and what's hitting theaters this Memorial Day weekend.